crushes?
I didn't make it around 2 crushes.
Okay. Oh, you didn't make it around to it, huh?
I didn't.
Even though we're doing a podcast today.
Yeah. Devin, you take such stellar notes, and I, you know.
She remembers.
I'm waiting for these visuals to be sparked by you.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
You do.
This is giving.
Partners.
This is giving project partners energy. Where one person does all the work and the other people are like, we'll just play off of it.
Everyone's first crush
No. I
doesn't
mean,
like them
like
back,
in
right?
real life.
I feel like everyone's first crush doesn't like them back.
Well, for me, I'm pretty sure my first crush didn't like me back. I don't know if there's ever been a crush that's liked me back. It's extra hard because, you know, the minority over here, so most likely none of my crushes liked me back. But hey, it happened.
He invents a matchmaking algorithm and is trying to
Christian Mingle,
get paired
Hinge
with an international supermodel, and the algorithm keeps giving him either Lisa's emo or a Siberian Husky.
Yes.
Oh.
So he's trying to match me up with this girl who's sniffly and.
Wait, didn't we have this as Siberian has?
Yo, Lisa was cool. Lisa was so pretty. Even I knew Lisa was really pretty. She's sniffly, but that's the worst of her problems. Get her some medical attention and she's fine.
It's just a self-aware joke. I've taken emotion out of the equation and put love where it belongs.
In the garbage.
In the hands of technology.
Oh, okay, well.
I actually never got on the apps until the pandemic. Because then it was like, I can't meet anyone. There's nowhere to meet anyone now.
It's so funny to think that people who have been in things that are well known and probably have a following of people who straight up from the get-go already think they're cute based on what they've seen. There must be several people who would say, I'm down to try something with Devin Werkheiser. And you know, it might not work out, but I'm surprised that he's not getting hits like immediately on social media, or wouldn't.
Except
and I was so lonely.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me see what this is about, right? Like,
that's
I think
so strange to
good
me.
and bad to them, and I've never been on
But I guess it's not all roses.
generation. In person, I would kind of know immediately if I want to spend more time with them.
Yeah.
On the apps,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know yet.
Don't really know.
I don't
Am I
know
gaining ground?
yet. So you have to like kind of like wade into it for a while, talk to people enough until you want to meet with them, and then even then you might meet with them and it's not it.
He's right, but also for me, I do have a bit of a standard barrier to entry where, like, if you can't communicate over the text messages, it's just not gonna work at all. If we can't even get to the point where we can, like, establish a date or a meeting, a hangout through text in a way that's not, like, overly blasé, deal breaker immediately.
I get it for people, but yeah, it just felt like not. I'd rather meet people in person. I really need to know what
I would
their
too.
energy feels like.
I do prefer in person. All the crushes I've had, never had a crush on a person who I saw on an app.
I love intimacy. I like getting to know people, but the pace for me at this point has to be so much slower than people are used to.
Yeah.
It should
Is
be.
like, yo,
It should be.
I don't want to text every day. Anyone.
Anyone.
I'm a astute texter. I don't want to text every day. I want to have a conversation that starts and ends like any other conversation would. If you're having a text conversation, it doesn't need to be as long as a normal conversation, but it should have a start and an end, a topic, a point. Both people should get something out of it, no matter how long, if it's just like 5 different exchanges, or 10 different exchanges, or 20 different exchanges. But it has a start and an end, and you don't have to come back the next day and say, how are you? If there's nothing going on, then you don't need to talk. But I like keeping in touch every so often, because after a certain amount of time, something does happen. And even if nothing happens, it's like, how are you feeling about nothing happening?
My last relationship, well, I was calculating this the other day, was 7 years ago. My last like official like we're in this for the same like idea and goal. And that ended in court. And
What?
just was
Wait, what?
a terrible situation. And I think
Court?
like he ended up breaking into my house, like attacking me, and
Jesus,
you know,
what the
really
heck?
recreating this court scenario that I had with my parents when I was younger, right? Like having to testify and being sort of like diminished, right? The judge was this real misogynistic piece of shit, and I was like, how is this even possible? Like,
Yeah, what?
how are you in? And he, like, his attorney, like, I mean, it was just humiliating.
Y'all really let a misogynistic piece of crap like this come into a place of power where looking at the injustices done to oppressed groups like women, you're gonna be misogynistic here, of all places? Hello?
You know what is a great way for guys to cuddle?
Go on.
If you guys ever get in this
I'm very interested. Hold on. You know, there's a great way for guys to cuddle. I am very interested in what Lindsay is about to say. This could be a life hack, everybody. Let's listen.
situation.
Listen carefully.
No. It's
Yes.
so healing. Back to back. When
Aw.
you literally just both lay in the fetal position and like your spines touch it. I don't know.
That's-
There's
no,
something
that's-
Oh,
just
wait.
like.
Are you saying for two males to come?
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom is immunocompromised, but
That's
she
pretty
was also,
good.
she lives alone, so she was feeling so crazy during the pandemic because she couldn't touch any, like she
Yeah.
couldn't, and then lived alone. So when I'd go like drop off groceries or whatever, there was one time she was like, don't hug me. She was like, but just like lean against my back. Like I just need physical touch. And it did, you do feel something. Like we as humans, we are not meant to live
That's cute.
solely isolated on our own. Physical touch.
Those babies
is
die,
healing.
right?
Yeah.
They don't need to call me out like this. Listen, you can't survive without physical touch. You get used to it. Just give it a decade, and you know your body will acclimate. Maybe babies can't do it, but you know they're weak. They need to get good.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say
I don't
love
think
is
that
not
pure-
constructed by. I'm gonna say it's innate.
Oh, you feel like it's innate in humans?
I
Just-
think
just
in
what?
beings. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
That is.
I'm not saying that I haven't enjoyed the experience
Yeah,
of
of
love.
course.
I have, but sometimes I do wonder if I would be better off if I just focused on those things that I deem beneficial and worth my effort.
Well,
In
are
yeah,
those,
yeah, yeah.
are
The
those
things that
like
you love.
Or what are those things?
Well, productivity, whatever you can come up with for yourself.
The love thing can be applied to not only other people, but to things that you do, things that you have. Like, it seems shallow to say that you can love something that's not, you know, another being, but it is true. It's something you have an attachment to. It's something that brings you fulfillment. It's nice to have. It keeps your mental in check. Yeah, that love of things that you do, the love of yourself, all of that exists. It just depends on how you'd want to define love.
But I do think if you spent that time all on your own, hermetically
I would long for the
I think at a certain point you would.
Long for balance.
Yes, I think at a certain point you would really
Balance, I like how she put that.
I got, like my mind was something was missing.
What do you think your love language is?
What are they
See
again?
there, yeah.
Physical touch, acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation.
And something
That's 4,
else.
right? I think it's
No,
4.
no, it's 5.
That's 5.
Quality time, that's mine.
Spent
That's mine.
Oh, yours is quality time?
Mine is quality time. What's yours?
I might like
I'm
quality time.
somewhere in physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation.
I think I'm a quality time. I do enjoy words of affirmation. Physical touch, I wouldn't know.
So I download Tinder. The first guy that matches with me, I'm like, he's the one.
Yeah.
Ugly man. And he's the one that I catfished into thinking I was British. Yeah. That was my first ever online dating experience. As I was like, you know what? I'm gonna lie. And we went to this nice French restaurant, and I got all dressed up and and I sat down and I was like, you know, yeah, I'm from London, but like my dad's in the Air Force. He's in like the Royal Air Force, and my mum's from Texas, and like obviously, you know, what I mean, like I'm having a f***ing laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in gigs.
You're having a
And
giggle.
I'm answering all of his questions, and I keep the accent the whole time, and I'm not old enough to drink, so I'm not drinking. He's drinking.
Yeah.
And the drunker he gets, the more he's like, you're the most beautiful woman. He texts me the next day, and looking back, I'm like, you are so creepy, and I could have died. He was like, I can't get the scent of your perfume out of my mind. I was like, ew. And I was like, let's go on another date. Sure, because he was paying for all this.
Yeah.
I was like, slay. We went to the movies. We saw some scary movie that I had already seen with my friends, so I like knew when to jump.
Paddington.
And
The lies, the deceit.
he was like, what do you call it in Britain? I was like, the cinema. Fun.
Pictures.
It was fun to me. The only thing is, when I look back, I'm like, that age gap was gross.
How old is he again?
24.
Yeah,
Oh,
but kids
okay,
always, the younger you are, the more you don't care about the age gap. Y'all ain't responsible. Y'all think y'all are responsible. You're not. I thought I was responsible, and I was. That's only because I'm older now and I can look back and say that, hey, that kid was responsible.
Today's episode, it's all about making friends.
I think the principles for making friends, whether they be gay or straight, are the same.
Yeah.
That they should be people who are in line with your values,
Yeah.
that you share interests with, that support you and also challenge you.
Yeah. Like most things on this podcast, balance is the healthiest thing. And I also think it's not healthy. I know loads of gay people that only have gay friends.
Yeah.
They don't have any straight friends. And I think that's really unhealthy.
Yeah.
The echo chamber of literally being in one community. You'll be hard pressed to find yourself dipping into every single community. Not everyone's a chameleon. Having at least a balance of 2 to 3 different communities that, you know, you dip into every so often to see how everyone's going. And seeing the value of people even though you disagree with things in every single one.
Only got straight friends. I think that can also be unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I just think a lot of gays, it seems like there's almost 2 camps. There are a lot of gays out there who feel lonely and they want to make more friends in the gay community. And then there are the others who only have gay friends and their perception gets a bit distorted.
Yeah, but then we're playing fast and loose with the word friends. Friends, like any relationship, a friendship takes time and effort to cultivate and grow, and you have to work on it. And you have to keep, and you can't do that with 300 people.
No.
So they become acquaintances, and then that can feel really lonely. I think be that person who knows everybody, but who's their best friend?
Yeah.
That's one of the loneliest things, strangely enough. A lot of people, a lot of you guys could probably relate to that. You have all these friends on social media and even friends in just communities, your workplace, wherever. You don't feel like you can talk to anyone about anything. And someone asks you what's wrong and you're like, no, I'm fine. And you're not really fine.
But you just can't get into it because
It's such a waste to have quote unquote friendships where you can't talk about how you feel.
So find something that you like.
Yeah.
Walking, hiking, movies, films, sports.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't ever go out. And if you want to go out and do whatever you want to do, but I think using that as a foundation for a friendship, it's like building on quicksand.
Yeah.
So you want your friendship, your relationships to have some foundation in something, and then go for a coffee, go for a walk with them, grab an ice cream.
While you would think that, you know, a common interest and activity is kind of the foundation for a friendship, it's such a temporary, slippery foundation to build a friendship on. We've had friends at school, we've had friends at our extracurricular activities. Whatever you're doing, it's a fun activity, we're all friends. Once that's done, once that chapter of your life is over, or you have to move to another group, that friendship's basically over. And a lot of people would say, oh, just because we don't talk every day anymore, or X, Y, and Z, they kind of fall off into a certain category of friendship that doesn't really matter much the further you go on. For example, we all have friends that we had back in elementary school, high school, college. You're a decade removed from that. You haven't spoken to that person text or vocally since then. Years. Like you come back together and it's like, ooh, yeah, we chat more again. Or it could be the opposite where one person thinks, you know, it's just like old times, and the other person's like, I've changed so much, I'm not sure what's going on. It's not as easy as it used to be. If those friends from back then, who you've never spoken to since, don't fall under your core, like, ride or die friend group, then it's like, how do you keep a friendship beyond the boundary of an activity that you guys usually do? Because I've worked at different places, I've gone to school different places. I don't know what those people are doing now. Are we even friends? I don't know. They could have gotten married, had kids, died for all I know. Friends? Kinda, not really anymore. It's tough.
You don't mix friendship groups. I think that's I think it's a really odd
I
thing.
like to be the one jumping from group to group. If those groups were to come together, I'd combust. I just think if I was at a birthday party and all my friends were there, I wouldn't enjoy it because I'd be going, oh my gosh, that person sat by themselves. Are they having a good time? Oh, have you spoken to that? And I couldn't relax. So that's why I don't like mixing.
I mean, you could always just let them
Your
be.
responsibility.
I know, but I take it on myself as my
I know,
responsibility.
but that's
Why?
You can't be responsible for other people.
If it wasn't specifically a meeting to make your 2 friend groups meet, then I just say let it be.
During like Pride or something, people then leave central London, they go to Clapham Common, and from what I've heard, the cliques start forming on the common. So you've got the OnlyFans gays that are all grouped together, and they will not socialise with the rugby gays who are over here.
That's so strange because, like, I'm sure people from both groups are fine, and it's a disservice not to talk to each other because get his number. What are you doing? Like, that guy, he was looking at you funny. You better go over there and provide some riz.